Ernest?
All right. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, well, walaikum salam, sir. We are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to Off the Record today with an illustrious guest, someone who I'm very proud to interview and to have on our show. This is Brother Ernest Muhammad, who's one of the original members of the escort team and original members of the Dope Busters. And he protected myself, my family, and the Supreme Captain at that time for many years. And we thank you for your hard work and dedication. And we thank you for your sacrifice and the sacrifice of Sister Felicia and your children. And we love you, Brother Ernest, and thank you for coming on.
Oh man, brother, I'm honored that you even asked me to participate. Anything I can do, that's what I want to do.
Excellent. Everyone who's watching, can you please ask questions, and we will get to the questions as we go. Brother Ernest, can you please explain to us how you first joined the nation or heard the teachings?
Okay, this might be the whole 30 minutes, but yes, sir. You know, when I was a child in Washington, D.C., my mother and my stepfather enrolled me at Muhammad University of Islam. And that was back in the early 70s. I was 8 years old when I first started at Muhammad University. Dr. Lonnie Shabazz was the minister there, and he was the dean of the school. And I was blessed to go see the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan when I was 9 years old. He came and spoke at Federal City College in Washington, D.C. And I'm telling you, at an early age of 9 years old, I was convinced that he was a divine man. When I heard him speak, I saw light emanating from him. When I was sitting in the audience, I was just fixed on him. And then, you know, in 1975, when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad departed, and I remember that day, I remember myself and my sister, we cried and cried because they said that the messenger had died and he was gone. And as the minister had said, it was a dark and cloudy day all over America. And I do recall in DC, it was very, very dark when they made that announcement. And I always wondered what happened to Brother Farrakhan. I didn't know what had happened to him. You know, the school was somewhat dismantled and things changed. And then I was blessed to see this poster in 1981. And it was the picture of Brother Farrakhan. No, let's go back. In 1979, I saw this poster that the minister was going to be at the Howard Theater in Washington, D.C. I was 16 years old at the time. I went there, heard the minister speak. I was so excited. I bought my Holy Quran. I bought Message to the Black Man. I bought 7 speeches, How to Eat to Live, Book 1 and Book 2, The Fall of America. I bought them all that day at the Howard Theater. And I made up in my mind that when I graduated from high school, I was going to try and join the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and help him do whatever it is that he wanted to do. And when I was 18, I graduated high school. Mosque number 4 was at the Phyllis Wheatley Y on Rhode Island Avenue. I went there, and I thought Minister Farrakhan was going to be speaking there. And you know, when I got there, the brother was roaring. I said, man, the minister done picked up weight and he's bald. It was Brother Abdul Kareem Muhammad from Mosque number 7, the East Coast Regional Minister, that was speaking in the minister's place. But look, it was enough to convince me that I was in the right space at the right time. And that's when I accepted the teachings, and I got my X in August of 1982. That's when I recited.
Okay.
That's it.
Yes, sir. Now, Brother Ernest, Sister Aisha from Chicago says you're her favorite in the comments. She wanted to let you know that. And,
oh, my goodness.
Yes, sir. And what was your role on the E team in the early days of the E units? Because you're E1, so that means you were, you know, one of the original ones. So what was your role, and how did that come about?
Okay. Well, as you know, Brother Sharif was asked to become the Supreme Captain in 1991, he asked me, if I would come and, help him in Chicago. And, as we began and we started adding different brothers on that going to help us in this task of trying to help the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Brother Sharif asked me, what title, should we give these brothers that are going to be working? And I think I told him, I said, account executives. And that's what became the E-team. They were account execs. They were going to service each of the regions of the Nation of Islam, the East Coast, the Mid-Atlantic, the Southern region, the Western region, the Midwest. And the brothers that were going to become a part of the E-team were going to be the brothers that were serving that capacity. And I'm pretty sure that's the origin of the account execs and the E-team. And, they also serve the duality purpose of the security team, along with Brother Haroon and Brother Rashad, of the minister's security team.
Yes, sir. Okay.
And that was back in 1991.
91. Okay, excellent. So Aisha says, beautiful story. Brother Eric Muhammad says, Assalamu alaikum, Big E. Damon from Brunswick says, Assalamu alaikum, soldier. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, sir. Brother Ernest, when you were a dope buster, what was that like being in DC during the time of you all trying to stop crime in the inner city?
Oh my goodness. Okay, now we left 91. We're gonna go back to 1988.
Okay.
Man. Well, that's something. It started in probably the latter part of 87, going into 88. The brothers would be out selling papers and soldiering and doing what it is that we do. And, people would see that the criminal element, which was very prevalent in DC in the mid 80s. That's when the crack epidemic was just roaring in DC. And Mayfair Mansions was considered like probably the worst open air drug market in Washington, D.C. at the time. And I remember, our brother Sharif was in communication with Dr. Aleem and the minister, and we were having meetings about going over into Mayfair Mansion. And I don't recall the day before, but I know we were having prayer service at 5 a.m. We went to Mayfair. I think it was April the 18th, 1988. And you had never seen anything like this. It was like a grocery store. And there were drug transactions taking place all over the place. We went into Mayfair. We were pulling people out of the attics, pulling people out of the basements. It was just really, really something. And then one brother had the misfortune of attempting to pull a shotgun out on the FOI. And we had a brother named the Slammer, Brother Ronald Muhammad.
Okay.
Picked him up, threw him to the ground, and we wrestled away the shotgun from the brother. He had a sawed-off shotgun. And there happened to be a video cameraman there from Channel 4 News. And Joe Johns was there. He was the reporter that was on site that day. And the rest is history. As you say today, the video went viral.
Yes.
And so did the dope busters. And that was the origin of the dope busters. And it was an amazing thing. Within 24 hours, it was pretty much clean. It wasn't all the way clean, but it was like a metamorphosis had taken place in Mayfair Mansions. And that's much how I got started, under the leadership of Abdul Sharif Muhammad, who was Captain William at that time, and under Dr. Aleem, and of course with the overall lead of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who gave us the blessings, because you had to be trained to go up in there, because you got to be trained, and you got to have some heart, and you have to have faith in Allah that He's going to protect us going into that place, because they were making pretty much over $1 million a month in Mayfair Mansions in drug transactions. So when you go in there, you impacting people's money, that can be dangerous. But you know, we trust in Allah. We had prayer service every morning at 5 a.m. At Mosque number 4 before we even went over to Mayfair. All the FOI. And we were supported by the MGT.
Praise be to Allah. Okay, Brother Ernest, speaking, you said that you all would pray before you went into Mayfair. Was there
Yes, sir.
Was there ever a time that you felt threatened, or that there was a death threat or something that made you maybe be nervous that you had to overcome?
Okay, look, I'm gonna share 2 stories with you about that.
Please.
Brother Sharif had told us the story that, you know, we had been threatened by some posses coming from New York that were going to wipe us out. We're going to wipe out the FOI. So I believe Brother Sharif contacted the minister, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and Brother Farrakhan said to Brother Sharif, he said, how far is New York City from Washington, D.C.? And Brother Sharif said, about 3 hours, sir. And you mean to tell me that the posses that are coming to wipe you all out haven't arrived in D.C. yet? He said, no, sir. And the minister said, well, apparently they're not coming.
Okay, yes, sir.
We were ready. And look, I'm going to share this one story about a brother from Chicago who came to D.C. for training, Brother Charles Muhammad. Now, we were all over the country, and I've seen some of the worst places that our people were living, I'm telling you. But they had a place in called Clifton Terrace in Northwest Washington, D.C. That property was the roughest and the worst place that I had seen out of all the major cities that I'd been to in terms of crime and their fearlessness. Because it's unfortunate that the leaders in Clifton Terrace were mostly former Muslims. And let me tell you, there's nothing more dangerous than a Muslim that goes bad because they don't have no fear, because Muslims ain't supposed to fear anything but Allah.
Yes, sir.
So we brought a brother from Chicago, Brother Charles Muhammad. He used to be the head of security at the Salam restaurant. And we put him over in Clifton Terrace. And he told me this. And we left him in a booth. You know, he was there for training. He said, Brother Ernest, let me tell you something. He said, I ain't never been afraid of anything in my life. Because he was gangbanger. He was a captain or a general up in Chicago, gangbanger for years. He said, brother, but when you left me in that booth, that's the first time in my life I ever been afraid. He said, my heart was just beating and beating and beating. And he said, then I just looked at you. And you walking through Clifton Terrace by yourself. You ain't had no brothers around you, because at that time, I think I was the chief of operations. He said, you ain't had nobody around you walking through Clifton Terrace like you were oblivious to all of the things that are going on. And I said, Brother Charles, we don't fear the arrow that cometh by day or the one that cometh by night, because we're supposed to be wrapped up in God's bosom. But don't think I'm not a fool. I'm always watching. Everywhere I go, you might not see it, but I'm looking peripheral. I'm looking up. I'm listening. Trust me, I ain't no fool. But we supposed to trust in Allah. And Allah is our protector. And I believe that then, and I believe that today.
Yes, sir. Excellent. Brother Eric says, let Brother Ernest thank him. He personally thanks you since he joined the nation in '85. Brother Ian F. Muhammad says C.T.U. And Brother Dewan says he knows ASA, he knows Brother Charles. Excellent.
Yes, sir.
Brother Ernest, what about your role in the tape connection in the early days in DC?
You know, oh my God, Josh, you going way back. Oh my God, we used to have a little shop. Oh, I'm gonna tell you a beautiful story about the tape connection. 2849 Georgia Avenue, Northwest DC.
Yes,
we were about 2 or 3 blocks north of Howard University. And we had a little small, it's called a tape connection. I forgot what year we started. Must have been probably 86. Brother Sharif, myself, Sister Mary Alice, and Brother Jamil, and Brother Robert. We had so many people working there. But you would not believe how many people came into that little bookstore buying tapes of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and buying books. And we used to have a loudspeaker blasting Farrakhan up and down Georgia Avenue. And I just had some beautiful memories. And I'm going to share one beautiful memory about the tape connection.
Yes, sir.
We used to have a brother that came into the tape connection on a regular basis, but it looked like he was homeless. His clothes weren't well kept, wrinkled, and you really thought he was a homeless man. But whenever we were down and we needed like a big sale, he would come in and just spend all this money. And then in I believe it was 1987, we were about to lose Mosque number 4 unless we came up with $20,000. And we were at the last day. And let me tell you, this brother came into the store and he had a brown paper bag and he handed it to Brother Sharif, who was Brother William at that time.
Yes, sir.
He just handed him a paper bag and he left. Brother, we counted that money. It was $20,000 in that brown paper bag and 5 cents. Never saw this brother again. Brother William called Brother Aleem, said, brother, we got the money. It's $20,000. They went over to the mosque and it was $20,000 and 5 cents. We turned the money in, was able to save the mosque.
Praise be to Allah.
Be careful how you entertain strangers.
Yes, sir.
You may be entertaining angels unaware. Always treat people the way you want to be treated because you never know where Allah's blessing is coming from. We never saw that brother again. Never. And he came with $20,000 cash.
Excellent. I never heard that story. Thank you for that.
Everybody, yes, you could verify with your father when we hang up.
Oh, yes, sir. No, I believe you. Everyone who's watching, if you have a question, please ask your question in the comments and we'll definitely get to it. Next, Brother Ernest, we want to know your role in NOI Security.
Oh, my. Well, really, the dope busters grew into NOI Security. So when I mentioned about Clifton Terrace, at that time we were NOI Security. That took place, I believe, in 1989. Because Dope Busters was, I believe, a nonprofit, but the for-profit became NOI Security in 1989. And really under the blessings of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It's not something that we just did on our own at DC and Mosque number 4. And it was a beautiful, beautiful thing. You know, you can have your charity deducted from your pay. It was a blessing to the mosque. It was a blessing to the communities all over the country. Brother Dion, Brother Sharif, Brother Troy, Brother Nada, myself, Brother Alfonso, Brother Captain Tim. I mean, we had some beautiful, beautiful brothers who were the origin of NOI Security. You know, Brother Aaron, who's the captain in Mosque number 4, have very good memories. We got some not so good memories. But the good definitely outweighs the bad and the not so good. But I'm gonna share one. Can I share one story, Josh?
Absolutely.
This relates to what we're talking about.
Yes, sir.
In 1986, Minister Farrakhan was in DC and he was staying at the Holiday Inn on Wisconsin Avenue. And he told some of the brothers that was in his room that day, and I remember it. And he told us, he said, brothers, he said, your lust or your pursuit of money and women will lead to many of you all's downfall. And I'm telling you, the minister speaks the truth. And what he said is actual facts. You know, that's why, you know, the minister said, don't try and be me. You can't be me.
Yes, sir.
You know, we should be ourselves.
Yes, sir.
He is who he is. We got to be who we are. And, you know, but what the minister said was right and exact. And I've seen things, you know, not so good. But, you know, Allah's the best knower.
Yes,
And
sir.
you know, he allows things to happen either with his active or his permissive will. But I wouldn't trade one day. You know that everything is a blessing. I learned so much from from trial and error. But I wouldn't trade it for anything because it made me a stronger Muslim. I remember when we first came to Chicago, Brother Farrakhan saw me on the steps of Mosque number 2. He said, "Brother Ernest, welcome to Chicago, brother." I said, "Thank you, sir. I'm all excited." He said, "Chicago is the meat grinder." He
Mm,
said, "Chicago will make you or break you." He
mm,
said, "If you can make it in Chicago, you can make it anywhere." That was my welcome.
mm,
Come to find out, that was Sister Ava's welcome too.
mm,
Come to
mm,
find out, that was Sister Claudette's welcome too.
mm.
Ministers told them all the same thing.
Praise be to
But
God.
that's I love it. I love pressure because that's how you make a diamond. You got to put it under pressure. And that's what all of us should be striving to become, diamonds
Praise be to
amongst our people.
God.
Okay, I'm ready for some questions, Josh. I'm ready.
Okay.
Y'all
Yes,
got
sir.
me fired up.
Okay. Yes,
Y'all got
sir.
me fired up.
Yes, sir. When you first came to Chicago and you were around the minister, what was that like as opposed to when you were in DC? Was there a difference in the interactions with you and the minister or no?
Oh, brother, it's a blessing, man, to be around the light, but just not to be blinded by the light.
Yes, sir.
The minister's persona, he's just a beautiful, beautiful human being.
Yes, sir.
But I caught the wrath a couple of times. And look, you don't want the wrath, brother, because you don't want the wrath, but you live and you learn.
Yes,
You live
sir.
and you learn. But it's a blessing to be able to see and walk with the man of God.
Yes, sir.
I mean,
Praise
you
be.
got Allah, you got the Christ, and then you got his servant. That is a blessing, man. So I
Absolutely.
was very, very humbled to be able to walk with the minister or to drive him to a venue or to get him a cup of coffee. But you
Excellent.
know what, Josh? I treat you the same way. I'd give you a cup of coffee in the same manner because that's what the minister wants for us.
Yes, sir.
He wants us to treat one another the same way we treat him.
Praise be
And
to
that's
God.
what I try and pride myself on. I want to treat the believers the way that the minister would treat them, you know.
Excellent. Yes, sir.
Uh, but it's a blessing, man. Just a blessing to be able to walk with.
Wonderful. What was your role or function in the office of the Supreme Captain when you were in Chicago?
Well, I was his administrative assistant to the Supreme Captain.
Yes,
I
sir.
was quote unquote E1,
Yes, sir.
uh, and I worked in conjunction with the account execs. All of us had regions. We'd have our meetings, and we pushed that final call newspaper, pushed the products. Um, Whatever instruction that Brother Sharif received from the minister, our job was trying to get it carried out.
Mm.
You know, hear and obey. Uh, you know, I love working with the brothers and the MGT in Chicago. We got a lot of great things done. We had some beautiful people, that we lost. We lost Brother Wali and Brother Khalid and Brother Wazir, some great, great, great soldiers. Um, so it was just a lot. It was just really, really, really a lot. I tell you one thing about working with Brother Sharif and working with the Supreme Captain's office, man, we worked all hours of the night. Man, we were getting in at 1, 2, 3 in the morning and had to be back on time the next morning.
Okay, yes, sir.
Uh, we pushed. We really, really pushed. But we had a lot of things going on. We had the Million Man March. Uh, I was blessed to work with the Million Man March, the Million Family March, and the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March. I was blessed to work in transportation and logistics. So I was the Supreme Captain's administrative assistant, and I think I did a pretty fair job.
Praise be to Allah. Absolutely. Okay, Brother Ernest,
Uh-huh.
you are known in some circles as Black Ice, the DJ.
Oh,
How did that come along? How did that happen?
All right, now Black Ice has been around a long time. You know, I've been Black Ice since I was in high school. But actually, it was a brother named Wayne Solomon.
Okay.
His DJ name was Black Ice.
Mm.
And I asked him permission if I could use the name Black Ice because he know I love music and love DJ. He was like, go on ahead, man, carry out the tradition. And that's where Black Ice came from. I love music, all genres of music. I like rock. I like, I'm a little hip hop, early hip hop, but you know, I love music, period.
Yes, sir.
I love DJing. I remember Minister Farrakhan told me at the Final Call building, I was DJing. He told me, he said, brother, play dignified music for the people.
Mm.
So I love to play dignified music for the people. I'm not going to play music that I have to turn down if my mama came in the room.
Okay, yes, sir.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
If I got to turn it down, that means it's something I don't want to be playing. And that's
Yes,
just the way I roll. So if I DJ for you, you know, I'm going to keep it clean.
Okay.
You won't have a good time. I keep them on the dance floor now. That's what Black Ice do. You know, that's what Black Ice does. And let me tell you, oh, you know, but it's another thing about why I like Black Ice. There's principles in Black Ice.
Okay.
I'm a black man, number one.
Yes, sir.
And Ice has some properties that I always love. That's why I wanted to be Black Ice. Number one, Ice is smooth.
Mm.
Number two, if you turn on me, or if you turn against the minister or turn on the nation, I'm going to be like a block of ice towards you.
Mm.
I will be ice cold. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I don't tell everybody that, but that's what I think when I say Black Ice.
Okay.
You know, smooth, and I am smooth. That's Black Ice. That's what I do. But if you turn on me, you betray me, I'll be like a block of ice to you. Because, you know, I'm your friend. I'm your friend for life. People that are on the phone that are listening to me, you my friend, I'm going to love you regardless.
Yes, excellent. Mark Diesel, brother Mark Diesel says, Black Ice, shout out to Black Ice.
Oh, man. Mark Diesel, that's my man.
Yes, sir. Brother Ernest, I have a question.
Huh? Yes, sir.
As a father, what advice would you give to future fathers or fathers now?
Balance. You got to be balanced. I do miss the time that I missed time with my sons, my older children, because I was gone some months at a time, man. You know, 2-3 months. You know, traveling and things like that. You got to be balanced. You got to spend time with your family. You know, the minister said it's Allah, you know, family, and then nation. That's what the minister said.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, you know, I would say to any parent, you got to be balanced. You know, spend time with your children. It's precious. You don't get it back. You know, we only get so many revolutions around the sun. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And, you know, if you can spend time, hold your son's hand, kiss your daughter, kiss your son, tell him you love him. I did those things. You know, I love my children. I love my family.
Yes, sir.
And that's what I would say. Be balanced. You know, be a good provider. Be a disciplinarian when you have to be, but be balanced and be fair.
Yes, sir. Excellent. Brother Ernest, what advice would you give or say is the difference between raising sons versus raising daughters?
Well, boys, you gotta remember, boys they like lions. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
They at a certain point they gonna want to roar. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but like I had to tell them, you know, at a certain point, hey, it's only one lion in my house. I'm the lion.
Yes, sir.
And you know, with my girls, I just had to raise my voice at them. But sometimes in the boys, I gotta get up in their chest a little bit. That's the biggest difference. I could just raise my voice, and the girls, they pretty much they break down.
Okay, yes, sir.
But with the boys, you know, y'all got the same ego that we have as a man, you know.
Yes, sir.
But you know, but whatever you do in terms of discipline or whatever, as long as they know that you love them, it doesn't matter. I don't know if Mikhail's on listening to the broadcast, but I remember one time, man, I had to discipline my son, and man, you know, he act like he was all rough. He wasn't feeling it, you know. And then he just broke down, started crying, right? Next thing I know, I started crying. I'm like,
Yeah.
And my wife was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing crying? You supposed to be disciplined and you crying."
Yes, sir.
But you know, if you're a parent and you love your children, you still don't want to see your children hurt.
Yes,
And
sir.
I remember that. I remember that. But that's the difference to me. With a boy, you might need to get a little more firmer than you will with your daughter, because your daughter, if she loves her father and you're a good father, man, if she knows you're disappointed at anyway, she's gonna be upset.
Yes, sir. Okay, excellent. We have some questions from the audience. I want to go to Sister Shanika. How do you compare the discipline of the believers then versus now?
Oh man, oof. Let me tell you, when I was at Muhammad University, look, when I was at the mosque, I didn't even dare to look on the sister side. Man, them brothers, man, look, I didn't even look on the sister side. I just kept my eyes straight on Dr. Lonnie Shabazz or whoever was doing the presenting back then. The Muslims prior to 75, man, there was no eating once at breakfast and eating in the middle of the day. No, 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 no. You ate at the prescribed times, period. You know, I mean, that's how it was prior to 75. I mean, and you know, even when I was a young Muslim, under my first FOI captain, who used to be Abdul Wali Muhammad, who was at that time James X Booker. You know, in the early 80s, man, no. Better not catch you eating more than one meal a day.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? No, you know, I don't, you know, I'm not as active as I once was, but I don't know if it's discipline. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it just seems like it's a small disconnect. You know, I got to do my part.
Yes,
I got to get in there and work with young brothers and the young sisters, and we got to make it better. It's one thing to be on the outside trying to critique, but it's another thing to be on the inside trying to build. And that's what I want to do going in 2019. I want to help build. I really don't like to make comparisons of the believers because it was a different time, different circumstance. And Satan is a lot bigger now than he was back in 1975. And he's more devious today than he was back in 75 and 76 or 80, 81. You know, remember he started out as a snake.
Yes, sir.
And now he's a dragon, and now he's a beast that's all around the world. So it's a big difference, you know.
Excellent response. Thank you for the question, Sister Shanika. Mimi, Brother Ernest, Mimi says, Brother Ernest was a fun DJ in the car, even though he didn't take requests. Thank you for your hard work and dedication to the nation.
No, I didn't take any requests. No, you're going to listen to what Black Ice is playing. I'm sorry. Thank you, Mimi. I ain't got nothing but love for Mimi and everybody that's online.
Absolutely, and we appreciate that. Brother Ernest, were there any celebrities that you came into contact with during your tenure in Chicago or DC, and how was that? How did they receive you?
Oh man, you were blessed. You know, I was with Stephanie Mills and SWV, and I remember meeting Prince, and he was like, "Assalamu alaikum, brother." You know, but he was very, very kind. You know, I was blessed to stay with Big Jim Brown at his home. Myself and Brother Dion, I think we were there for about a week or two during the Soul Train Music Awards, the last two that Tupac and Biggie were alive. And actually, that scene in the movie Notorious where you see Suge Knight and Tupac pull up in a Hummer.
Yes.
I was blessed. I was right there. Brother Captain Hugh was there. And they portrayed it incorrectly, of course, because they had them Suge with some red suit on. Both of them had on fatigues. Both of them had on brown fatigues. But I do remember when Tupac got out the truck and we had the FOI had to restrain him because he was trying to get at Biggie because Biggie was coming in at the same time. I remember it like yesterday. But I remember Pac said that, he said, he said, MF, now I'm going to listen to is Farrakhan. That's what he said out of his mouth, and I was right there. And that's exactly what he said, and it can be verified by the brothers that were present. And I also found out that there was a big respect for MC Hammer back then. I mean, on the streets, Bloods and Crips. Hammer was he called shots out in L.A., and I was a witness to that.
I didn't know that.
The night of the Soul Train Music Awards, I recall that. And Hammer called off all the things that were going to supposed to be taking place. You know, so
that's good. I never heard that about MC Hammer, but I'm glad that.
Oh yes, sir, brother. He has a lot of street credibility on the West Coast.
Okay, yes, sir. Yes. I mean, I know he was signed to Death Row, so I knew something was going on. So you know, I knew it had to be something.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Okay, Brother Ernest. What? Okay, I want to make sure I get every single person. What makes you stay a believer after all of these years, seeing that all these years, you know?
Oh, brother, there's nothing better. Nothing. Ain't nothing better than the nation. There's no better. There's the truth that we have is far superior to anything else that I've seen, that I've been a part of. And you know, me personally, in 1986, well, even as a child, when I was a little boy, I had a dream about the final destruction. I saw the wheels. I saw pamphlets being dropped in Arabic and in English. This when I was a child.
Yes, sir.
Before I even knew about the final destruction, how the messenger explained it. So I was convinced that back then, as a child, that what we had was right. And I remember when I used to go visit my cousins and my grandparents and things, they'd be like, say that Muslim stuff, man, say that Muslim stuff. And I'd be out there reciting, who is original man? The original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. The colored man is the Caucasian white man. Or Yaku, graphic devil, the skunk of the planet Earth. I recite all of them, the student Roman and the actual facts.
Yes, sir.
And I just been convinced, man, it's a part of me. Islam is not something that you take on and off.
Yes, sir.
It's your life. It's everything, man.
Yes, sir.
Whenever I come into contact with anybody, and you black, white, red, yellow, brown, I treat them all. You treat them the way you want to be treated. It's all about mutual respect. But these teachings, there's nothing that can make me disbelieve in what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has been teaching. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. It's right and exact. Excellent. You shouldn't have no doubts. And look, but the way you get your foundation, and this is the study groups. You got to study. Brother Real told us when he came to visit DC in 1983, he said, brothers and sisters, if you do not study, you will grow into a hypocrite. If you don't study, you will grow into a hypocrite. See, and we used to meet in people's homes back in the early 80s when we didn't have a place to go. And we had study groups. And them study groups. And we used to have monthly conference calls with the minister once a month. The first Sunday of the month. Those things got me rooted. You got to get your roots. And the way you get your roots is by getting in the books, the Bible and the Holy Quran, and study.
Yes, sir.
Study, study, study. And just remember, as you mature with your Islam, you're not going to be the same as you were 20, 30 years ago. Because, you know, if all the seeds were 7 more added were ink and all the trees were pens, you could never exhaust the words of Allah. So that means that every person that you come into contact with, you can learn from them. Everything in nature, in Allah's creation, you can learn something from. There's a principle everywhere. So, man, everything that I come into contact, everything, it bears witness to what we're being taught. And we got the supreme wisdom. They said the Son of Man measured the heavens and the earth. Name me a place where you get to know the student enrollment and the actual facts. You know the speed of thought, 24 billion miles a second, how fast sound travels, light travels, The
Yes, sir.
Son of Man supposed to measure all of that. He told us that the diameter of the universe is 76 quintillion miles.
Yes, sir. Yes,
How
sir.
did he know that unless he's the supreme being? What other teaching do you get that? That's what convinced me. They said the Son of Man measured the heavens and the earth. Who's giving us the measurements but Master Farad Muhammad?
Yes, sir.
I mean, if somebody else can tell me somebody else that was giving them, let me know, make me aware. Because I don't know anybody except our Savior, Master Farad Muhammad, who gave us those facts.
Excellent. Brother Ernest, Sister Cassandra says, ASA, Brother Ernest, Walaikum salam, ma'am. Brother Ernest, did you ever experience hard times in your struggle, and if so, how did you keep your faith during the hard times?
Oh, look. Oh, yeah. Remember when I said that the minister said that Chicago is a meat grinder?
Yes, sir.
Minister ain't never lie. Look, the way you can tell about a person is the way they handle a bus. When you think something is yours, but it's not yours. Whatever roles we have in the nation, it's by Allah's permission.
Yes, sir.
It's not ours for life. But I remember, man, when I lost something in Chicago, I lost a position or whatever, or was fired or whatever. Let me tell you how I got my mind right. I was standing in the line in Chicago to get food stamps to feed my family. Because, we all just a paycheck away from poverty.
Yes, sir.
Many of us are living paycheck to paycheck. And I was in line to get food stamps for my family in tears. I was crying. I was boohoo crying. This is in 2003. And I'm like, man, I try to be a good man, try to be a good father, boom, boom, boom. All this is racing in my mind while I'm standing in line to get these food stamps. And then, you know what happened to me? I thought about Dr. Martin Luther King. I thought about Malcolm. I thought about the minister. I said, Dr. King's children, they don't have a father that they can see. Malcolm's children don't have a father that they can see. I thought about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad being jailed. I thought about all of our great leaders and what they have gone through. So whatever struggle I had, it kept it in perspective. I said, well, Brother Ernest, you ain't suffered nothing no worse than anybody else. And after that, I wiped away my tears, and then I developed a game plan on how to get everything back intact the way it's supposed to be. And, by Allah's grace and permission, it took time, but everything can get restored. But you got to have the right heart and the right mindset. And, sometimes, like I said before, sometimes we think things are being done to us, but they're actually being done for us. The minister made a speech. It's called Diamonds Among Men. And everybody should hear that lecture.
Yes,
see, when all of us should be striving to become a diamond of a person. But how do you make a diamond? You have a piece of coal, and you have to put it under intense pressure.
Yes, sir.
And you keep it under that intense pressure, and then at a certain point, you get a flawless stone, a beautiful diamond. And that's what you all are becoming. That's what I'm becoming. All of us can become diamonds amongst our people. Yes, it's just that when the pressure comes, and it's gonna come, you gotta handle it. And then you can become a diamond of a human being. And that's what we should all be striving for. So I'm like, bring the pressure.
Praise be to Allah.
Because if the more pressure and the more you handle it, that shows your worthiness. That, because, we're going to have to lead the world.
Yes, sir.
That's going to be a lot of pressure. It's 7 billion people on Earth. I don't know how many are going to be left after what takes place. But, that's a big responsibility.
Yes, sir.
So let's work on ourselves. Don't worry about the person next to you. We got to work on ourselves. I ain't got time to worry about Josh's flaws or somebody else's flaws. I got to worry about Ernest's flaws.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Excellent response, and thank you very much. Damon says, ask Brother E about the riot in Mayfair when some guys kept drinking in the park and kept giving Brother Henry trouble and allegedly my father slapped the biggest guy or something like that. I don't know what the story. So if you could elaborate on that.
Oh my gosh, man! I can't remember all them stories. I remember. Oh my gosh, I don't. Man, it's too much. Whose father slapped who? There was a lot of slapping going on up in Mayfair and Paradise.
Okay, so it's okay, Damon. We'll come back to that one day. We'll come back to that when we get that story done.
I mean, I seen Brother Tim slap somebody senseless, man. But anyway, but you know, we're not supposed to slap and beat our people. We're supposed to love our people. But when they act savage, sometimes that's how you got to deal with a savage. You know, our people have lost the knowledge of themselves, and you know, certain things are required.
Excellent. Bro Ernest, we want to thank you very much for your time, and we want to ask one last question. I want to make sure I ask the sister's question. The sister inboxed me. She said, what would you tell to the future generation coming up after you, if you like your biggest lesson that you've learned in your life? What would you tell them?
Don't try not to doubt. Doubt is the mother of hypocrisy.
Yes,
and like I said, if you don't study, you will grow into a hypocrite. What I say to, you know, I'm gonna put a list out tonight. There's certain lectures that you got to hear. It will help you with your foundation. You got to get your foundation strong. And the way you get your foundation strong is by studying. That's what I say to everybody.
Yes, sir.
Study. Read your message to the black man. Wipe the dust off it. Read your Holy Quran. Read your Bible. Read these beautiful study guides that we have.
Yes, sir.
I mean, these study guides are like diamonds. Talk to the believers that have been around for a while. I mean, they're like treasures. We've lost so many treasures over the years, you know. We just lost the great brother Lieutenant Khalil, and I was so happy the way people were going to visit him, getting information from him, talking to him,
yes, sir.
You know, being there for him. Because, you know, we're not promised tomorrow. We don't know how many revolutions around the sun we have. So we have to take advantage of the counsel that can be provided. Young men for war, older men for counsel. Same with the MGT. Yes, you know, sit down with people who've been there before. But if for any believer coming in the future, you got to study. That's how you get strong. That's how you get rooted. Then you compare it to everything else that's out there, and you'll say, man, the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is right and exact. It's the best thing out here, and it's the panacea for our people's ills, and that's what they need. They need to get a dose of what you've been blessed with, what I've been blessed with.
Yes, sir.
And that's the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, which is, but you have to know them, and not just know them by being able to recite them. It has to become a part of you. You have to live it. You know, you know, all general orders in effect, right?
Yes, sir.
Those are principles, the restricted laws of Islam. We have so much beautiful material that we can study and live it. You know what I mean? See, if you see the poster of Master Muhammad, what does it say? It says the Holy Quran clothed in flesh.
Yes, sir.
Listen to that. But that's what he wants all of us to become. A righteous person, just walking the streets. You don't even need the book anymore. You are the book. You walking around, you are the book. You know what I'm saying? That's what we should be striving to become. The Holy Quran, clothed in flesh. That is something.
Yes, sir.
That is something. But it's something that is obtainable. It's not far-fetched. I've seen the minister grow. Been blessed. And let me see, how old am I now? I'm 55, and I was blessed to meet him about 47 years ago. And he don't remember this, but when that lecture, you know, he rubbed my head and said he's gonna be a great one day. But you know how many heads the minister probably rubbed back then, all the children back then, but it sure stuck with me.
Yes, sir.
And I've been striving for that every day. And that's it, man. Any more questions? Come on, bring them. Y'all got me excited. I remember one time I was in FOI class in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And the brothers will tell you, man, we taught FOI class. We were there till 1 a.m, man, just talking. I was talking so much, man, I fall asleep on the roster and wake back up and teach some more. Man, we had a blast up in Pittsburgh with Brother Cap Millard and the FOI in Pittsburgh. I just love the believers. There's nothing better.
Excellent, excellent. I got. Could you explain your relationship, or expound on who Brother Wazir was? Because people may not know who he was.
Oh, Brother Wazir, he used to be the national accountant. He wasn't the national secretary. He was the national accountant. Beautiful brother. He's the former husband of Sister Captain Aisha Muhammad, who's now married to Brother Amin. Brother Wazir came out of New York. He came out of the mighty Mosque number 7. May Allah be pleased with him.
Yes, sir.
And maybe be pleased with Sister Patricia, who used to be the NGT captain, and Brother Milton that drove the truck for the Leotis fleet. I mean, there's so many believers that have made this transition. But may Allah be pleased with all of them. I miss each and every one of them.
Excellent.
Because you all are all precious.
Wonderful. What was your relationship, or did you have a relationship with Dr. Khalid? Any interaction?
Oh man, Brother Khalid, man, what a beautiful, beautiful man. I remember I was on post in the minister's room, and Brother Khalid was the supreme captain. This is in Pittsburgh. And Brother Khalid wanted to bring some people in the room, and the minister said he didn't want nobody coming in the room. And Brother Mustafa was the assistant supreme captain. He told me that his father said nobody comes in the room. You don't bring nobody in the room. So me and Brother Khalid went head to head. Brother Khalid had his guests with him, and he tried to bring his guests in the room. I stood my ground. He said, "Brother, I put you on the post." I said, Brother Farrakhan said, "No guests are coming in the room." So, but after that, we had a lot of love and respect for one another. Because that's the FOI, man. Ain't no big eyes and little U's in the nation.
Yes, sir.
If I got an instruction from Brother Farrakhan, that passes what anybody else got to say, including a supreme captain at that time, Brother Khalid Abdul Muhammad. Beautiful, beautiful man. Beautiful. I miss him, man. I really, really miss him, man. And I'm telling you, I know, Josh, we done had this debate. The 1982-83 drill team out of LA, man, they used to pick him up and put him down like nobody I ain't never seen. They like stomping mud holes in the ground. But in the West Coast, they used to call that the West Point of the Nation of Islam, was in Los Angeles, California. I thank Allah for Brother Khalid.
Excellent.
We can learn, from everybody, and some of us make mistakes, but I share this with every believer. Whatever position or whatever it is in life, we have to be willing to listen, and never surround yourself with yes people. That's one thing I admire about Brother Sharif. He didn't. We wouldn't know yes people around Brother Sharif. If I was upset with the Supreme Captain, I'd say, "Brother, can I have a minute?" We go in the office and we'll talk man to man, face to face. I don't care who it is. You can talk to them with respect. Don't ever let nobody just punk you, because Muslims can't be no punks, because we ain't supposed to fear no one but Allah. We don't care about position. We don't care about your title. You're gonna respect me, and I'm gonna respect you. But so that's one thing, and I really do miss. I miss all of them. I miss Wali, man. I don't even want to think about it, but I still remember being out with Brother Wali 2 days before he passed or was murdered. Because what the minister said. He said the first question he's going to ask the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is, who murdered Brother Wali?
I didn't know that.
That's what,
Could you explain?
that's
I
what
never
he
did
said. But I don't want to delve into that. Anybody have any other questions?
That's all we have right now, Brother Ernest. We want to thank you for coming on, and I'm going to send you the YouTube link, and everyone who's watching, you can go to Off the Record on YouTube, and it'll come straight up, and it'll be posted in like 30 minutes. It'll be right there. Brother Ernest, I really want to stress to you how grateful my family is to you for your protection over us, for your watching and doing security over us for years and years, being nice to us, and just your hard work and sacrifice. And please, we cannot thank your wife enough. Thank me, Cal, Yasmin, and the younger ones. I don't want to forget nobody's name, not there. I don't know everybody else's name, but thank all of your children for their sacrifice. And we thank the families of everyone who sacrificed to help build this nation. I thank you very much, brother.
Oh, bro, Josh, man, you know, I love each and every one of you, man. And I thank Allah for your father for giving me the opportunity to help. You know, if you want to help Brother Farrakhan, I want to help you. And that's the driving principle for our brotherhood. We all had a love for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And our objective is to make, you know, whatever he wants, we're going to be found trying to bring it. And that's what we should be doing today.
Excellent. Well, thank you all for watching, and thank you again, Brother Ernest. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. Walaikum salam.